All right, I think it's that time again. Done with the hiatus for the Berserk reviews I'm doing. Of course, with my janky and ghetto setup, but I'd rather work with anything I got. So, all right, let's get back into it. So we're at the battle where Zondark is going against Guts, or should I say, a possessed Zondark, and of course Vargas, Puck are over here, and they're like, they figured out that Zondark is of course possessed, and by the Count, by his little slug thing, nastiness, just anyway, and this Count is saying, "Not bad, Black Swordsman, for immortal that is." And Vargas recognizes that it's the Count. And the Count sees Vargas and he's like, "Long time no see." And this is where Vargas goes to get the Bahalit. And the Count puts one and one together, saying, "Yeah, so it's you. Just you wait. After I take care of him, I'll be delighted to continue where we left off 7 years ago." And he turns his attention towards Guts. He's very, he's impressed that, a mere human can do this and still keep up. But he's like, surely no one can defeat you. The fact that you're mortal is your downfall. And this is where they clash sword and battle axe again, causing more destruction. However, inadvertently, this causes more damage to, I guess, the ceiling or whatever, the columns or nearby, whichever, and it falls upon the possessed Zondark. So they gotta get the hell out, and they eventually do, and everyone is seeing that Vargas's little hideout is in flames. They escape through a sewer, through a sewer system, I guess, and they're wondering, like, if he's dead, and if they're free now, and they can just continue with what they're trying to do. And this is where Gus explains that Zondark was being fed off by that slug, and that thing had total control of his mind and body. All that remained of Zondark was his desire to kill, and that hence why Zondark is just was repeating kill, kill, and murder, if I remember correctly. He even said, Gus says to Vargas, "This is where we part. Before I go, I want to take that Baylett. Think of it as a down payment for killing the Count." And Vargas is like, "I have no use for it, so here, take it." And Gus takes it and goes to walk away. And Puck is like, "Hey, like, come back. You gotta, at least try to protect him or something." But Vargas is fine with it. He's cool with it, and he's like thanking them, like, "Hey, you did so much, and I'm glad that you're gonna kill the Count, basically." And Puck gives a speech about life, but living for the future is more important than trying to avenge the past. And Vargas agrees, and what we see here is a tendril coming out of the sewer, and this surprises Vargas. Vargas gets grabbed up, and of course, possessed Zondark is not dead. Meanwhile, Guts and Puck are walking in the town freely. I'm kind of surprised that that's happening because of they explain, Vargas explained to him that everyone is is keeping an eye on each other, for they can have another scapegoat to blame stuff on. So I'm kind of wondering why there aren't more guards here, but you know, that's okay. And Puck's, I can't think of the word. Puck is of course up to his usual stuff, saying like, you know, that's so rude, just taking a Bailey and walking off like that. You know, at least could have made sure that he was safe. And of course, Guts being Guts, saying, he's like, you know, I could have done those things myself. Well, except for, you know, finding the Bailey, which is much appreciated. And plus, you know, his whole philosophy about weaklings, and you know how that is. And Puck's like, you both want to destroy the Count, your allies after all. Guts stops, then keeps on going and is laughing. And it's like, you're kidding me, right? Even when he begged me, I turned him down, that maggoty creep. And Puck's like, how could you? And Guts, like, I can't be bothered with some good-for-nothing bastard acting like we're friends. He'll end up dragging me down with him. And, of course, that goes for you too, Bug. And Puck just, you know, is upset about this whole incident. Guts keeps on walking and overhears people talking about another execution, if it's true. And one of the guys confirmed that is saying that, you know, there was one yesterday, but they say he's a friend of that fellow who caused all that commotion at the execution grounds. I hear it's supposed to be a warning to him. So this already says to Guts that Puck is right, but Guts is also right in a way too, that Vargas is going to drag him down if he continues to try and save him or keep him under protection. So Guts is in this little area, secluded from everyone, and he's, you know, doing stuff that he usually does, getting his gear ready for the inevitable showdown with the Count, I think. And Puck is trying to get his attention, and Gus is ignoring him. And he's like, fine, you know, I won't ask you again to, you know, try to save Vargas. So Puck goes off on his own, and Guts looks at his missing arm, remembering how Vargas had lost his limbs, and of course what Vargas said to him. He sliced them up, chopped them off, and then ate them. Guts touches his missing, I think that's his right eye, his missing right eye, or whatever, and recalls more that before my eyes, he took my wife and my sons, touches his brand. I was nothing but a prisoner of fear. Please avenge me. Gus is frustrated about this whole situation and punches a nearby wall. And of course, some bricks fall out of place. Right here, the execution is proceeding, and here we see the Count watching and saying, you know, we meet again, Vargas. What has it been? 7 years now? Vargas is giving him this glare, and the Count is amused by this. Normally, we need to give you a painstaking interrogation, but I've decided to get it over with and execute you right away. You should be grateful. Then his right-hand man, I think it's Dahl, says, Your Majesty, the object you mentioned is nowhere to be found. I see. So the Black Swordsman has it. I mean, Puck is on this object, and I kind of find this part a little bit funny right here, just because how he's in the same pose as this this thing right here, and so he's just like, oh, what do I do? And off in the distance, he sees Guts in the alleyway, and he's like, Guts, and Guts gets frustrated. And he's like, I knew you'd come. There is some good in you. So what are you going to do? You better hurry up, or the old fellow's gonna... And Guts smirks and starts laughing. It's like, you got it all wrong. I just came here to watch him die. And Guts looks over and says, look, In the shadows past the castle gate is a trap. As soon as I approach the execution stand, hundreds of troops will burst out. You think I'm so noble that I'll just walk right into their trap? Puck is trying to come up with a reason, and Gus further explains, saying, "If you're so worried about it, why don't you save him?" Puck, he being an elf, he's not gonna be able to do much, obviously, especially when there's uh, an army of men ready. And they continue to watch, and Guts is commenting about how Vargas is a weakling, a misfit who can't swing a sword, and his ambition came with a price that he couldn't, he just couldn't afford, and he would just, die for nothing. And meanwhile, he's going on to this tangent. Puck is feeling that same feeling that he felt when when Guts was was in the jail. And Gus even mentions the reward for ambition too great is self-destruction. And we'll kind of see this too when he fights when he fought the previous apostle, the snake guy from Coca Castle. It's like you could see all the damage he was taking, so it's kind of like ironic here. Vargas is placed onto the chopping block, and Guts he's like, he just keeps on going. And Puck mentions, "Guts, are you afraid?" And Guts asks, "What are you talking about?" "The old fella, fighting enemies he can't possibly defeat. You're afraid of him, aren't you?" "Yeah, you are afraid. Afraid to admit that you're also fighting a losing battle. You don't want to admit that you're just like him." Well then why did you come here?" Guts, having enough of it, grabs Puck and says, "You talk too much, you know that? Where does an elf like you get off talking like that?" And the look on Puck's face is just a mix of emotions before the little bastard bites him and calls him a big ass, you selfish bastard chicken. And Gus is like, "You little brat, damn bug." But it does get to him to some point where he's questioning if he should feel compassion. But it looks like he's standing alone in the dark of the alleyway. Execution is going on still. Puck's trying to figure out what to do as the executioner prepares to behead Vargas. Meanwhile, Guts is in the alleyway smirking at Puck, and Puck flies right into the middle of it. Gus is like, "That idiot," and Vargas is like, "That little fellow." Even the Count sees it, and of course, this doesn't prove anything successful, because Puck ends up like stunning himself by flying into the blade of the axe and just falling down. The executioner picks him up. It's just question like, what the hell is this? And the Count, I think the Count says like, "What are you doing? Get on with it." And proceeds to kind of rub salt on the wound, saying it's a shame. Sorry. The Vargas proceeds to say it's a shame, and that I won't be around to enjoy the sight of you choking in your own blood. Count asks, "What's that supposed to mean?" Vargas answers, "Death will be paying you a visit soon enough, along with the hundreds of victims you killed who will drag you down to hell with them." Count responds with, "Nonsense, finish him off." And Vargas says his last words, "Black swordsman, I beg of you, and as he's beheaded, Guts sees this, of course, and is covering his mouth. You know, his head's flying in the air, tears. Everyone's watching, and Guts obviously has this pain of regret. But something activates his brain. He sees something off in the distance, and it's the demon fetus thing, and it takes on the facial structure of Vargas. This, of course, kind of. I mean, I'll be kind of scared too, seeing that, and it just crawls away, and I believe he starts throwing up here. As that happens, we see some girl watching from the distance in her room, and then we get this overview shot of the village or whatever it is, and these guys talking about, you know, why, complaining about why we gotta do this, put like the corpses in this field and just burn it. And they're holding up ahead of, one of the guys holding up ahead of Vargas, and right hit there is Gus, seemingly coming out of nowhere. Looks like he kills the guys, and Gus comments saying, "The look in your eye, filled with vengeance. I won't fail like you." The brand activates, and of course, he's in there's a field of corpses, and so the undead are going to be coming out everywhere, and they're talking about it hurts. Give it back to me, my leg. Little sponge. I keep thinking of SpongeBob every time I have to read that part. My leg. I'm in pain. I want my head back. I can't see my eyes. His head. You want the Count's head. And before Gus could like pull out his sword, he's grabbed up by one of the spirits that want revenge. And said, "Together we will have revenge." And they try to possess him, and we do see that he does get possessed, but his will is so strong enough that he expels out all the ghouls or ghosts, wherever the hell they are, and he falls to his knees and just breathing hard, saying, then he gets up and saying, "Never. You and I got nothing in common. You're dead, all of you. You're nothing but worthless scum. Get away from me, carcasses. This is my fight. Mine, a person of flesh and blood. That's right. I'll do it myself. I'll kill the Count with my very own flesh and blood." And that's the end of Guardians of Desire 2. So, not bad. Not bad stuff, man. But, sorry it took so long to do all this. I was, doing other things, and of course there was, I will admit, there was some laziness here. So I plan to actually upload this video and maybe possibly 2 more videos, but put them on a scheduled time for the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then probably do a schedule like that where every weekend I'll just upload these little reviews. So hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.